Somebody better get me some freaking lasers in here. We've got 7 million players in a game. Outside of that, though, there's just nothing going on at all this week, so it'll be a quick show, guys.
Damn.
Just kidding.
Nice hype.
I know. Just kidding, though. There's actually quite a bit of stuff this week that we're going to at least touch on, and hopefully maybe even a little bit of inappropriateness there.
I ain't touching
honestly-
nothing.
I was waiting for you to say something.
Something?
Today is Friday, June 3rd of 2016, and this is the Epic Fail Podcast episode 62.
Warning, this show may contain mature language and is not suitable for small children, pets, or blood elves.
You're now listening to the Epic Fail Podcast.
And greetings! Once again, I'm having a little bit of internet issues tonight. Thought it was fixed, but no, it's not. So this way, Theory gets to stare at my lovely, lovely mustache once again.
Fu Manchu.
You don't have a mustache. That picture doesn't even really have a mustache. He's got like funny side hair.
That's a Fu Manchu. It's a Fu Manchu. Like legit Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if that qualifies as a mustache or a goatee, though.
It doesn't matter. It's what it is. But anyway, welcome to the Epic Fail Podcast. I am technically the host. Theory is hosting tonight. But I am Draven Dresden. With me, as always, the hostages of the fail train. First up, from Salty Canada, we have Miss Scarlett. How are you, and what have you been up to this week?
It's not salty Canada. I get to see the movie a day before you guys, so whatever.
Oh, no.
Canada.
Oh, no.
Hey, that's what you think.
Well, are you going on the 9th at 7 p.m.?
At some point. I don't know if it's 7 p.m. or not.
Well, I get to see it at 7 p.m. And maybe again at 9 p.m. We'll see. I'm good. It's been a crazy week. Did I say last week that I started leveling a paladin?
Nope.
I don't think I
I
did.
don't remember that, no.
I have a paladin, she's a tank, but I want a DPS paladin, so I thought I'd start leveling from 1 again, so that way, what are you doing to the chat?
I'm causing seizures and moving it over so that way you can actually see who said what. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh,
Nothing to see here. Don't look behind the curtain. There you go. I'm done.
So, oh right, they can't see that. Anyways, I digress.
They could see that, but anyway.
Okay. I don't know what I was saying. Anyways, leveling a DPS, for the fun, but it's only level 20 or something, so not that high level yet. Played some Hearthstone, played a lot of Overwatch, surprise at that, and that's been my week.
Alrighty. Then we'll just go ahead and move on to a little less salty Theory. How are you, and what have you been up to?
I just wanted to do that on purpose so that way I could carry on the theme of being muted that we usually like to do. Normally it's Draven. So since this is probably, hopefully, my last week of actually hosting this shindig, I wanted to give him the ability to say that I failed too. Not really. I completely, totally failed. This week's been great. I was off a lot. Beginning of the week I was sick, so I was off for a couple of days. And then I had my 3-day holiday weekend in the middle of the week. So I ended up being off like 5 days in a row, which meant, hey, the Otaku just saw what I was wrong way talking about. Anyway, so I played a lot of Overwatch. Not as much as I had hoped. I still haven't caught Charlotte yet. What are you, 62? Something like that.
60, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had more time off than you, so.
Really? Okay. Well, so yeah, I'm 38 or 39 now. Absolutely love the game. If it had an actual PvE section, I literally could see myself not playing WoW anymore. It's that good. And I'm not really a huge PvP guy when it comes to WoW or really any other game, but I really find Overwatch fun. So it's been good. Been playing a lot of that. I played, of course, regular WoW. We went in and killed Mythic Assault again and did some attempts on Reaver. Didn't quite get Reaver down. Don't. I'm just gonna let that one go. So it's been a good week. We got 3 more moose carries this week done for people. So that's kind of been like the side mission for the raid team is helping people get their beasts. And I know that's not how you say it. But it's pretty much it for a while. There's not a whole lot going on. But you said you started a new paladin. I also started a new paladin. Because I pretty much decided I'm going to play paladin and legion as mains, but on 2 different raid teams. So because of that, I wanted to have 2 different paladins. So I've got one that I'm putting through Tanan Jungle right now, trying to get it semi-geared up. And that's going pretty quickly. But that's pretty much it for me. How about you, Draven?
For me, I've been doing, Garrison Craft is still a thing for me. I haven't been able to top my 13k gold in a day, but I'm making some decent cash there, getting ready for Legion, which I'm told I'm wasting my time with because everything gives you like 1,000 gold. But whatever. It actually took me until earlier today to realize there was a new Tavern Brawl this week, so that was interesting. And I have played a little bit of Heroes, and all my Heroes friends have been telling me I've abandoned them for Overwatch. Because, much like everyone else, if I'm awake and I'm not at work, that's pretty much what I've been doing. And I'm told I'm starting to get at least mostly competent at Reaper. Which is good.
I don't know, man. You mostly confident in a Reaper?
Yeah. I'm not going to say I'm good at it. I wouldn't say I'm good at anybody on that. But, I'm starting to get at least mostly competent. And I'm just watching you
fix
mess
stuff
with chat.
Yeah, you should be talking right now. See, normally when you screw up stuff, I talk to try to cover up the fact that you're trying to fix it.
Yeah, well, I'm not nearly as nice as you.
I noticed.
No, I mean, I got CJ and I were in a group earlier, and Scarlett, you were in the group with us, and then my computer decided, guess what? You are gonna freeze. So I had to restart my computer. And when I came back, everyone was gone, so I played a game. And CJ, I'm going to be really nice. Look at where they are before you invite people. If they're in a game, they're already in a game.
What's wrong with being in a game? Maybe they don't want to be in the game.
Okay, but
what
if you're
playing, wouldn't you want to be in a game?
What if they logged on, went in a random pug, the pug's doing horrible, and then you have the chance to invite them, but you're like, oh, they're in a game, so I don't invite them.
I don't.
Kind of sad. That's horrible.
If I see someone is in a game, I won't invite them until it says game over, game ending, in menus, something like that.
So
That's horrible.
there's something to talk about there though, because like for example, tonight I was doing a little pre-show Overwatch, and CJ invited me like immediately, which was cool. But then as soon as I accept the invite, I'm not in his game. I'm in the what do you call that? The spectator mode. Like I'm streaming. I don't want to stream spectating. That's not exactly fun for anyone. So then he told me later on that he was backing out in order to get me in the game. But there's kind of something to be said there. I mean, if they're in the middle of the game and you invite them, yeah, they may want to be in your group. But if you don't have space in your group, or if you're in the middle of the game, you're kind of inviting them to leave their game and end up spectating yours, which is kind of crappy.
I don't mind that.
Mm.
I would rather get invited to the group and have to spectate half a match, and then I know that I have a spot. Otherwise, I'm just like playing in a pug, seeing if they're out of game. Nope, they're not. Okay, so I go play another pug, and then they invite me, and then I'm in a pug, and then you just like keep missing, and then your spot gets filled because somebody joined and watched for a few seconds till the match ended, kind of thing. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him or anything like that. It was just more of a, just look to see where people are before you invite them. That's all. But
I wouldn't
anyway,
disagree with that.
anyway, I came back from my computer restart. Everyone was gone, and then everyone started coming back. So I don't know if everyone else dropped too or what happened there, but the next 4 games, I had 3 of the plays of the game. One was Torbjorn, which is, turret, got play of the game, and I just happened to be there to repair the turret as needed.
So,
and then the other ones were Reaper.
Hallen has a great point. What if the invite feature told you where they were, if they were in game, if they were queuing for a game, and how many of your friends were in the group?
It does say queuing already, but I agree, it should tell you that.
Yeah, that would be pretty epic.
Yeah, a little more detail in the friend invite thing would be great. But yeah, Overwatch has basically been my life outside of work. Getting ready for next week for the movie, and going out of town, making plans, getting my plans finalized for getting to the airport and all that fun stuff.
Making the what?
What the hell was that?
I don't know. It's Scarlet at this point. You just kind of grin and nod.
I was gonna say making the whoopee, but I didn't know if I could say that on stream.
Well, you just did. So,
Yep.
No more guessing.
I make no promises there.
It's not with me. I don't care what
Yeah.
you do.
No, I know it's not with you. That's
Sure as hell ain't with me.
No,
Secretly is. What?
no.
I'm married. I don't get to do that anymore.
Anyway, that has been our week. So let's get the show on the road and talk a little bit of Blizzard news.
This is the Blizzard news you can use.
So like I said earlier, we need some freaking lasers in here. Overwatch has officially given out their first week sales. And we got 7 million.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, 7 million people have bought the game, either PC, PS4, or Xbox One. I would imagine most of them are actually probably on PC, but it doesn't actually say where they are. And I did, well, technically I had someone else do the research, but I'm going to take credit for it. I did some research, and That is roughly 2 million less than Call of Duty whenever it was actually big. Like at its high point for its opening week. They did 9 million on its first week. So we're right up there with this one.
Oh yeah, these numbers are really good. Considering the beta had 9.5 million players in it, and there was probably a lot of people the first week who couldn't afford to actually buy the game and hadn't already pre-ordered it, hitting 7 right out of the gate is an amazing number. And I think that pretty much puts it in second or third for highest revenue for their current games. So that's pretty amazing.
I know we've got more players in Overwatch than we do in WoW at the moment. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can see that just in our guild. Like it used to be, for example, in CTR, you look and see who's online in the guild, just in your own, specific CTR guild, and you would have to scroll. And now there's like maybe 5 or 10, at least in the guild I'm in. So definitely a lot more players. But I have a feeling that that's going to change a lot when Legion comes out, don't you guys?
Yeah, the pre-patch will
Pre-patch,
be a
yeah.
huge boost. And the movie's going to be a big boost too, because all the people who are getting the game basically for free after they go see the movie in the countries that actually have it, but there's going to be a huge boost beginning in like 2 weeks. So
Yep.
Yeah. But getting back to Overwatch, it's not in our show notes, so I'm sorry, you guys. But did you guys watch that video that I linked earlier today?
the preview.
The permaban?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different one. Yes, I watched that one too.
Yeah. So, Blizzard a while back said, if you get caught cheating or having any kind of unfair advantage thanks to, third party or bots or anything like that, that player is getting banned. Full stop. End of story. No questions asked. Well, it seems like Blizzard is taking that seriously. There are reports of people buying 4 different games, and within a day or so, every single one of them getting banned because it's that player. Now, if you remember what I just said and what they had said, the player is permanently banned, which means they're going to have to basically buy a brand new computer, buy the game again, because they cheated. Like, people are changing out hardware, and it's still banning them.
Alan actually just asked a question, and no, it's just Overwatch for now. But what it's doing is it's banning you from your current Overwatch game and any future Overwatch games that you purchase and play in the same computer, on the same IP, on the same Windows registry. So like, people are literally having to gut their entire computers in order to try to play again after they're getting banned, which is something that's kind of unheard of. Previously, people who were botting in WoW just started a new account and it was all good. They have to start over from scratch, but they could still play. So this is some pretty hardcore lifetime banning they're doing right now, for sure.
I like that. I really
Yes.
like that.
Yeah. I ran into at least one Widowmaker that I reported for cheating, and that's the first time I've done it. Because
aimbot.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It was literally, you poke your head out, and like on the kill screen, they're not even looking at you. You poke your head out, it instantly turned fire. Like, there was no aim at all. It just literally, boom, headshot.
So there's no competitive right now.
Nope.
So realistically, what are they gaining right now? They're winning matches, so they might be getting slightly more XP.
Levels. But that's just
Yeah. They're getting more boxes. That's it.
just an EP.
Yeah. So realistically, botting right now doesn't really do hardly anything for you, except for make you look like you're really good at the game when you're not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, other than like the professional people, some of which have been banned too, which I find really funny.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would have to ask Totem the names of the guys, but there's at least 2 of them that got banned since the game went live.
Interesting.
But what I find really funny in this is China has this game out, and they released the names of the people that got banned, like the actual BattleNet IDs.
Yep.
Oh, really?
I
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it was like 100.
I'm like,
100. Was it 1,500?
150,000.
150,000. I remember it was a lot.
Yeah.
But
I really wish they would do that over here, but they're not going to, and I know they're not going to. And then, you know, we were talking about it in one of the games earlier, and the question came up, what about false positives and stuff like that? You know, that's making me kind of worry if I look too good, I might get banned. I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about that. I suck at this game.
yeah, you don't have anything to worry about.
You know, if they have the ability to like completely ban your computer itself, I'm sure there are ways for detecting bots are legitimate, you know, enough that I highly doubt there would be that many false positives, if any at all.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how their detection works. I don't want to know how their detection works. But what I do know is a lot of the bot places that you would buy these things or get them have shut down until they can try to figure out how it does work. So. But yeah. So yeah, 7 million people at least week 1. So yay there. People are getting permanently banned. Yay there. Provided it's actually deserved. And I took a look at some of the forums and people were complaining they got banned. So I'm just kind of giggling
Yeah,
at that.
Pretty funny.
Like, well, you cheated. You were warned ahead of time. So yeah. Next up, the Warcraft movie premiere. This is going to be hosted by Jesse Cox and Michelle Morrow. I actually found out about this last night from Lore. He was on his podcast, which we will call DigiWho, because that's what they call it. It is June 6th. It's a red carpet event, even though there's no red carpet. And it's basically like a full-on movie premiere. Blizzard is taking part in it. Legendary's taking probably a majority, but this is going to be live streamed on Twitch.
How popular do you really think this is going to be?
I think this is a test, to be honest. I don't know. I assume it's going to, get a lot of people, at least in comparison to, like, it might not pull in, like, Blizzard esports finals numbers or anything like that, like League of Legends tournament finals or anything like that. But there's going to be people. There's going to be a lot of people watching. Because, I mean, how many people watch the Goofy award, the before the Oscars, whatever channel that is. I don't watch TV, where they just, who are you wearing, blah, 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 which I find is a really weird question. They're wearing clothes, not people. But, it's just one of those things. I think people, I don't know if it's going to be like hundreds of millions of people. Well, I know it's not going to be hundreds of millions of people, but I don't know if it's going to be tons and tons of people, like enough to justify doing it ever again. But there's going to be quite a few people, I think.
I'm still salty. I know a lot of people like Jesse Cox. I know a lot of people like Michelle Morrow, but I'm really partial to Lore.
He's running behind the scenes stuff.
I get it, but he's a personality. You know what I mean? That don't have to do behind the scenes. If he's like interviewing people on the red carpet or something, that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know what all he's doing.
I can see why they have Michelle Morrow, because she is a huge spokesperson. Like, I don't know if you guys know this or watch any of the Hearthstone tournaments, but she's usually at all of the Hearthstone tournaments as like an announcer and whatnot for it. So she really does a lot for like promotional stuff with them. And I think that they're trending towards getting Jessie Cox to be that way, like her counterpart or partner or whatever you call it. But Lore is a community manager, so I do kind of see he should be out there too. So
yeah, I think this was just him deciding he wanted to take a backstage role. I don't know. He didn't really go into a whole lot of detail because they're still planning everything. But I mean, to say you want Lore because he's a personality, well, Jessie Cox is a personality. He's been doing it longer, or just as long at least.
True, and he's got a pretty big following. But Lore is somebody that I've been attached with from a Blizzard standpoint for a really long time, and I know you're the same way. Jessie Cox, I know people like him, so I may get flamed for this, but I find him annoying. So he's not my favorite, and it's okay. I mean, people have their opinions. I'd rather listen to Lore.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather it be Lore doing the hosting too, but I also understand where they're coming from. Get some more people. Maybe they're looking to try to hire him to do this kind of stuff. Who knows? Yeah, because this will be the third. This will be the third thing that he's hosted. Because he did the Legion Q&A with Ian recently. Before that, he did the Q&A at BlizzCon. So this is at least the third high-profile event that he's hosted. But, who knows what they're thinking. I'm sure they have their reasons. Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe Lore just wanted to take a behind-the-scenes thing.
That's true as well.
I would imagine being on camera, while he's probably used to it for Twitch, that kind of thing, movie stars, that's a completely different ballgame. That's kind of out of where he normally is.
Cool.
Yep. And like Howland said here in chat, possible the movie studio said, no, it's going to be this person and not this person. We don't have any details, so we don't know. But speaking of the movie, of which I will be going to see the 9th, same as you, Scarlett, I just don't know the exact time. We got video and pictures and stuff. We're not going to show any, spoiler or anything, but Chris Metzen is in the movie. We got a video of him touring the streets and, him kind of fangirling it up.
You know what my reaction was when I saw that headline? Of course he is, because it's like Stan Lee.
That would actually make sense.
It's just like it's like doing a Stan Lee thing. He's just in a small scene in everything he does. Well, you can hear Chris Metzen's voice on. I'm pretty sure he voices something on Overwatch, but I'm not sure. But I definitely know he voices things on Hearthstone, and it's just, you can tell it's Chris Metzen. Of course he's in there. Although I kind of have a feeling if I spot him, it'll be like Stan Lee, and I'll just be like, yeah, I can't take you seriously. No offense.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a Stan Lee thing like Marvel does, where they actually make sure he's there. I think it's more of he just is in it. Like, if I understand it correctly, he's just a vendor in the city. That's it.
Like a little, 10, 30-second cameo or something.
Yeah, it might not even be that long. It might just be the camera passes by and he's there. He might not have any lines at all. Whereas they give Stan Lee something funny to say and or do. Even if it's just react to a funny comment that Robert Downey Jr. says when he says, hey, how's it going?
We could have Robert Downey Jr. in the Warcraft movie. I'd be down with that.
It's not Iron Man.
Yes.
I don't really like Iron Man, but I like Robert Downey.
I can't be your friend anymore.
I mean, I like Iron Man. It's just, all the franchises are overdone. I'm just kind of over them all. Like, there's too many now. I don't know.
And that is your opinion, and you are allowed to have it.
I'm not a nerd enough for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's okay, Scarlett. You don't have to like everything everyone else does. You're wrong in this case, but you don't have to like everything everyone else does. You are allowed.
I'll be here sipping my non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes. And last, and probably honestly least, over in StarCraft, they're doing a poll of a player icon, which is kind of, since everyone's playing since everyone's playing Overwatch, it's your little player icon up there. Well, StarCraft has been doing it for quite a while. They're doing a poll, which one do you want to add in? There's 3 options. You go over there, you vote in the poll, and 1 is guaranteed in. Honestly, they're probably going to put at least 2 of them, or maybe even all 3 in, just because.
I mean, I know somebody probably cares.
I mean, I care because I actually like StarCraft, but none of these really spoke to me because the one's a ladder, so you've done the ladder. I don't play ladder because I don't play against other people. I play the story mode and then I'm done because I suck against other people in that game, just like I suck at Overwatch against other people. Sometimes I get really lucky and things just line up so that I can screw up in the perfect way and I get play of the game. Because that's how I get play of the game. I screw up somehow.
You played as Torbjorn and you were just smacking the thing.
Yeah. At least my Torbjorn play of the game is not me falling off the side dead and the turret doing all the work off camera. It was
close.
What's a turret?
I said turret.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misheard you.
Probably. But anyway, that really is all there is for Blizzard news. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of StarCraft stuff to really go around. There's no real big tournaments going or anything like that, and honestly, no one really cares.
Or fortunately, in this case.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching the pros do StarCraft. It's just, there's not a lot going on right now.
I want to ask chat, what play of the game was that, Gelf? Although it's now going to take him 30 seconds to answer.
And while we wait for that, go ahead.
I'm ready.
All right. I was going to say, while we wait on chat room to answer that question, let's go ahead and hit up our massive supply of World of Warcraft news. Alrighty. So, first up, we got some more time walking that I'm sure no one is tired of out of the 12 people still playing WoW.
So,
oh, come on, there's 13.
Outside of raid times.
Has anybody in chat or on the show done a time walking this week? We'll wait for 30 seconds on that one.
I haven't done a time walking in like 3 months.
Yeah, it's the best one, but who's going to do this right now?
Yeah. I need to because I still need there's a mount that I still need, plus I want the time reaver thingy but I have not yet.
Yeah. I got all my stuff. I don't need Valor unless I'm going to upgrade off-spec gear, which I'm probably not going to use. So there's no reason for me to do it. You know, I mean, they put a lot of effort into making it scale up mostly to your level. Some of them are obviously easier. Some of them are, you know, clearly harder for people who don't remember the mechanics. But yeah, it's just that time of year. It's that time of the expansion where I'm done. I've done everything in game I can do on my own. I mean, I can go back and do some achievements, but this expansion for like solo achievements, I don't care. I'll go and do them eventually. Just I'm done with this expansion. Like I show up on raid nights when I can, and when I remember, when I'm paying attention to the clock and not playing Overwatch.
Let me just add something. He shows up to raid nights. So you know how Draven shows up to raid nights now?
How?
He's online. He doesn't accept the calendar invites. He doesn't whisper, "Hey, invite." He doesn't speak up.
Never.
He just sits there and waits to see if I send him an invite. And then if I do, he comes. But if I don't send him an invite, he goes back to playing Overwatch or something else.
That's
When
funny.
was the last time I did the calendar?
I don't know.
Exactly. It's been that long. I don't look at the calendar. I know what time raids are. If I can make it, I'm online.
It's okay.
Yeah. So it's just one of those. It just never occurs to me to look at the calendar, other than when is the date of whatever event is coming up that I'm looking for. So, yay, time walking. No one cares anymore. It was cool when it started. You do enough of them, you're done.
Howland agreed. He said that you, to be fair, you've never used the calendar.
Exactly.
Fair point.
Yeah. I've never. I mean, every now and then I would click it, but, you know, I just don't. It never occurs to me to look. I'm not in game long enough.
I have a really slightly off-topic question. So our chat got derailed by someone saying Elias passed away. Didn't he die ages ago, or was that a recent thing?
Yeah, that's recent.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry.
Prince also died recently.
I did know that.
Of a drug overdose, apparently.
Yes, but nobody knew.
But it was an accidental drug overdose, wasn't it? Because he was on so much fentanyl for back pain that he accidentally OD'd.
That's the current story, at least. I do not know. I'm not.
I don't think he was. Not that I really know,
No.
but I don't think he
Everyone that's come forward, and I know this is not Blizzard related whatsoever, guys. So sorry, but everyone who has come forward has said they've never seen him take anything.
Yeah, he was a pretty, if you listen to the biography, he's a pretty straight-laced guy. But that fentanyl being a painkiller and what it is, a lot of those, if you have like one drink and you're taking those, you decide you want to take more. It's oh yes, obviously an on-purpose drug overdose in order to take yourself out, Howland. Or a prescribed too much drug overdose. Which could have been the case if he just was prescribed the wrong amount and he took what he thought he was supposed to take and it took care of him. There's more than just accidental drug overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Getting back to Blizzard stuff and more specifically Warcraft stuff. we got some interesting news about some possible armor sets, old vanilla sets getting removed. The big one that I saw that a lot of people I know have been using for transmog was the Jade Plate. Half of it is currently mail and half of it is plate, at least for the recolor set, because lower level plate users used to wear mail until a certain level, and then
40.
they graduated up to plate.
Yep.
Same with the male users would be leather
Hunters,
for a while, and then they
hunters would be
graduate to
leather,
mail.
and then they'd get mail.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was still 40 or not, but yeah, it is 40 according to what this says. But I believe what they are doing is making both that set available in both types of armor. But then they are also changing it so that you don't start at level 1 wearing the wrong armor anymore for Legion. So they will be plate from the beginning for the plate wearers and mail from the beginning for the mail wearers, and then you don't really have to worry about it going forward. The thing that's interesting, though, if you take a look, if a little further down, it says there's 52 unique plate sets, but there's 65 sets in Legion. And that's because they've added previous mail sets to the plate sets. So they seem to be trying to do it right, but they are specifically asking people who are in beta if they find something that's not there to let them know. So it kind of seems like they just want to be sure, which is a good thing.
I have a question about that. So, if you're a plate wearer from level 1, plate doesn't start dropping till level 40.
That's part of what they're changing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to fix. But no, these particular sets that they listed here were not data mined in Legion. Like they're missing. So that's what we don't know, if they're just, these particular sets are going away, because they have done that before. Just not very many. Like old school Scalamance's Strathhome had some armor sets that you can't get now. So if you don't have them, you're screwed.
Yeah. And the other thing, like if you look at the Jade Plate, which is one of the ones you're talking about, it's right in the middle of the page there. Half of it is mail and half of it is plate right now. So I still think it's it's in progress. But realistically, if you've messed with this at all on Legion, the system for how it's going to work is very much like Diablo, and you're going to be able to get all your bag space back, which is fantastic. Get out of void storage and all that, actually have some room. So I think a lot of people will be pretty excited about that. But it'll be a little bit of a clunky switch. I'm sure that there'll be stuff that they don't figure out until it's too late, and people will have, hey, I have this item, how come I can't transmog it? And there'll be a bunch of that probably right after the pre-patch hits.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, most of the people who are in the beta are not focusing on testing transmog. They look at it and then they go about their way testing characters and leveling and rating, and even PvP. They're not really looking at the side things, even though a lot of people will once it goes live.
I know a good 20 people that are doing the transmog thing, though, so it is getting tested. Not as much as the leveling and stuff like that.
You're very specific on that number.
20-ish.
19 of the accounts is his.
Only 3. Calm down. No, I haven't done any of the transmog testing. I figure it'll get worked out eventually, so I'm not overly worried about it. But unless you guys have anything to add, that's really it for Warcraft. There's nothing going on, so you take what little news you can find and look, news.
I need help from our viewers.
Uh-oh.
This could be dangerous, guys.
No, it's serious. I
This could
need
be dangerous,
ways.
guys.
I need ways that people use to not get pissed off about something during raid.
I know what this is about.
Shut up. I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, I'm having a hard time. So I need help.
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, Theory, I know you've dealt with what I'm going to say, except you're on the other end. If you have a question, or let's say someone else is raid leading, Theory, and you have a question / suggestion or input in general, and you throw the question or input out there and you are immediately shut down and told you are wrong. I've had this happen on multiple raid teams. How do you deal? How do you combat getting ticked off and wanting to just hit the exit game button?
So, from a raider's point of view, not from a raid leader point of view, that's a very difficult thing to take, especially when you know you're right. But as a raider, your first course of action should be make sure you're right, even if you know you're right. Prove to yourself that you're right. And then give that information to the person that needs it in a way where it doesn't put them on blast. Meaning, don't say it over Mumble, TeamSpeak, Vent, whatever, Discord. Whisper to them. Link the proof, if it's something in the Dungeon Journal, for example. And say, hey, look, I know this may not be a good time, but this might be it. Whatever it is. And then shut your mouth. And not right now, I mean in the process. So I wouldn't tell you to shut up right now. But wait until the end of the raid night and then communicate it after raid. That is the best way to actually get your point across and earn some, number one, respect, and two, cred for knowing what the hell you're talking about.
So here's that thing. This was from a couple weeks ago. We spent all damn night wiping to heroic Archmond. My ring is maxed out from heroic kills. All of our team is pretty much maxed out. But we keep failing recently at him. So I noticed that, hey, we're just winging the Infernals, and that's the reason we keep wiping 10 times, 15 times that night, because we're just winging the Infernals. So I started to ask, shouldn't we assign people to the Infernals that might help us get out of that phase? And I got shut down and talked over and told that I was wrong. We never killed him that night, by the way. Just saying. But because it happens so often, it's starting to really get on my nerves. So that's what I need help with.
Well,
yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know last night we were having an issue with Orgorger's achievement. The one that...
which is still pretty tricky, by the way.
Yeah. Like, we only had 3 people originally, and then we brought it up, and we got talked over and said, no, this is how we're doing it, and it still wasn't working. Nothing against them. It technically could have worked if it was 100% coordinated, but our raid group is not Method, or whatever Method is now, Synergy, or whatever it is, I don't know. We're not Paragon, basically. So you're not going to have that 100%, this is going to work type thing. I won't mention any names, but someone asked a question and just said no and then ignored. And then, we failed and we failed. We took a break to kind of, clear heads and all that. And as the break was ending, chime in, so get my words right. Okay, so we want to do this box first, right? That's what you want. And they were like, yeah. I was like, okay, so he's going to come all the way down here, which means we need to do this box next. And then this box. And then we need to situate which boxes we're doing in what order. Otherwise, we're going to lose control of this guy, and he's going to roll over the person with the ore, and we're going to fail anyway. And it was, 10 minutes after break? We were still going over it because I wanted them to understand what the other person was saying, and I was trying to get my point across too. And it took us a couple tries, but as soon as I got done with my 10-minute, I think it ended up being 13, 14 minutes overall, going through it, instead of getting 3-4 people in, we were getting all the way to the end because we were, we didn't have a mage with us because I was on my paladin. So we literally had a big long line of people, 15 yards, pass, and then they had me calling out where the guy was, where the danger zone is, that kind of thing. We eventually got it. So we never have to look at that guy again. Wait. No, we didn't get it. We thought we got it.
We thought we got it.
We thought we got it.
To do it again.
We have to do it again. But we consistently got either towards the end or at the end, and something went wrong at the very end. But I think what she's asking is, if you're not... Go ahead.
Well, no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What I was going to say is I like all the raiders, and I like even what's getting me frustrated right now. I'm not frustrated not exactly at the people because I still like them, but it's just the way things end up happening is what I'm frustrated about. And I don't want to quit the team or anything. I really like the team. But it's just, I can see what needs to be fixed, but don't really have a way of fixing it. And then that's frustrating because we could, have fixed the issue, but we can't. That's all.
I think a couple things could help. I still stand by my first answer as far as how to communicate when something's not going right.
Yeah.
However, we are in that point where there's really nothing left to do unless you're pushing mythics for most raid teams. Which means literally everything is frustrating if it's not dying immediately. So people are going to be frustrating and not listening to each other normally. So it's very, very difficult to raid lead at that point, especially if when you are talking, people aren't listening to you. So speaking as the raid leader at this point, I made a point to make a point about garnering respect from my raid members, which some of them are in chat right now. But there is a very friendly atmosphere in my main raid team, which is something I really like. But sometimes when questions are asked, answered, and then argued with, that becomes very, very frustrating, especially when it's meant to be playful banter, but it ends up going too far, and then nobody really heard what was said. That is very frustrating. And then you do the poll 2 more times, and the same thing you tried to correct happens 2 more times because the person that should have been listening to you was instead joking around or listening to the person that was joking around, which is highly frustrating from a raid leader standpoint. I'm going to let that go, Galf. But it's a situation where there's 2 sides to it, and it's all about frustration. When you are giving information that needs to be given, it's a matter of being very strategic about how you give it. Because if you're in the middle of playful banter, have fun, rah-rah time, I mean, obviously you're not doing current content, you're doing hard content, but not current content. People aren't really focused in at that point anyway, because they're kind of just along for the ride. They may want the achievement, but it's not the same thing as pushing actual in-game content at that point. So they're all kind of only 3/4 of the way paying attention as it is. So that communication has to be even better when stuff isn't going right, because every time you wipe, everybody's a little bit closer to being, oh, F it, and I'm done.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
It's a difficult thing right now, but the one thing I will say, kind of to back you up, if your raid leader is not open to people talking to them in the correct way, something's wrong. Now, I'm saying in the correct way because there's a way to not throw your raid leader under the bus, and there's a way to express what needs to be expressed without making it awkward or making it be a problem. But if they are not open to some type of communication, then that's part of the issue.
Yeah, I had more than one person whispering me whenever I spoke up during Org Warrior. And you know me in Raid Theory, I very rarely will even speak, let
That's
alone throw input into a strat or anything like that, unless I'm 100% this needs to get talked about, this needs to happen,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
Literally, you don't speak 90% of the time.
Yeah, I'm almost, and when I do, it's either like on break time and I'm just making some kind of a quick joke, or in between polls, I might, you know, someone will say something and I'll be like, that's what she said. Or just something, just kind of a tension breaker if I know, you know, things are getting out of hand. But if you're actually trying to get stuff done, I almost never talk in raid. Like, that goes way back to when I couldn't speak in raid because the voice stuff wouldn't work for me. And this is before I joined CTR, of course. But for whatever reason, it just wouldn't work. So I got really good at typing, this is what we need to do, that kind of stuff. Basically baby speak for the raid team I was in because I knew some people needed that. And, you know, luckily I haven't had to do that because the quality of Raider in CTR has gone up for my raid groups, at least. Since, you know, I not necessarily because I joined, but just the teams I'm on, the quality of Raider versus most of the raid groups on the other server before I joined CTR.
So that actually brings up another frustrating point for some people, myself included. Because of how much raid groups are a family, when you have people that are in your group who are underperforming to the point where, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but to the point where some people are literally probably making it so that you can't get kills that you should be getting, it makes a lot of the quote-unquote higher-end raiders feel like they're being held back, and then they look for other raid teams. And when they're accepted to other raid teams, because pretty much everybody's recruiting right now, you lose some of your best people. We've run into that a little bit, a couple of different times, and we're going to continue to run into that because we're not the kind of raid team that kicks people for performance reasons. We're the kind of raid team that tries to help people through performance problems, and we value every single one of our raiders. But it can become quite frustrating.
They make pills for that.
Yeah, I know they should, but you know, we're not gonna kick people who are been in the raid team for years just because they don't hit this mark of DPS or they get hit by the bomb one too many times. It's not that kind of raid group, and some of the higher end people, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for groups where if you're not doing 80k, you're out of the group. You know, and that's unrealistic for the group that I run with, and we're in Mythics. Yeah, it's the end of the expansion, but I think that's unrealistic. Hell, do I wish everybody was doing 80k or more? Absolutely, because we would probably be much further than we are. But it's unrealistic to kind of think that way.
Yeah.
But I can see the frustration from some of our people who have kind of gone through that and, you know, said to themselves, basically, I want something that's a little bit more serious. And, you know, this happens at the end of every expansion and pretty much at the end of every raid tier. So I'm not surprised that it's frustrating for your team. And, you know, we have a little bit of frustrations in our team too. So it's something I think anybody who's still raiding is running into. And a reason why a lot of the teams that are a little bit more serious at the beginning of the tier are on break.
This is the first time that I've ever, like, ran into this situation. Normally it doesn't bother me as much. And normally I raid on more tunes. Like right now I only raid on Scarlet. Really, I could care less about my other tunes. But usually I have like geared 3 or 4 other alts, but not this time. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for you in particular, Scarlet, I think it's partially that the current tier raid is about a year old. And yes, I know Dragon Soul, or not Dragon, Siege of Orgrimmar ended up being about a year old. Yeah. Siege was about a year old. But that team you were on, we did sit people down if they weren't performing. So we were, I mean, not
well,
often.
all 3 of us were on the same team.
Yeah. We were all on the same team. We bantered back and forth. And, we had those moments of, okay, it's just kind of a goof off night. It's all farm content. We don't have to take it seriously. But when it came to the progression night, if you didn't perform up to X standard, whatever that standard was, if you were healing, you needed a certain number. If you were below that number, you had to have a dang good reason, like we had 4 disc priests, which we never did, but as an example. If you didn't have enough DPS, why didn't you have enough DPS? If you died a lot or took a lot of damage, why?
I remember, and this is even further off topic, but when I came into Orc Busters, I never used seals. Or not seals, I use seals. I never use hands. And Mega was like, all right, I need you to be multitasking, putting hands on people when they need it. And I'm like, I never even used these spells before. I don't even really know what they do. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm like, all right, but just so you know, this is new for me, so my DPS is probably going to suffer a little bit. And it ended up being like probably a couple of weeks, and I was back up to where I needed to be. But that was an interesting situation for sure. But they also, they talked a lot of smack about sitting people and kicking people, but it didn't happen very often.
Yeah, you had to seriously earn the sitting down.
Yes, Galv just recently learned that there's a poop shield on his shaman.
I remember I was there for that night.
Yes.
That was hysterical.
Yeah, but Howland earlier in chat said maybe Bananas just needs to take a week or 2 off and just not do anything at all together. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea, because a lot of people, if they take the time off, they're just going to stop until Legion.
And I want to do the achievement nights and even the nights where we have to go into Hellfire. Fine, because I raid on Sundays with Theory's group, and I don't get frustrated. I don't have a problem with it. It's fun, even if I don't need any gear. It's just whatever, But I don't know. I just think we're
beating
it's that
butting heads for no reason. I think only because everybody's frustrated.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that point of the expansion. I know in my case in particular, I will continue to show up to raid nights when I'm able to.
Yeah.
But honestly, there are nights where I'm glad that I have to work and I miss raid. Just because it's to the point where I'm done with that. I'm done with HFC. I don't want to be there anymore. I will go. I will do the best I can when I'm there. But at the same time, I'm glad I'm not doing 5 raid teams like I was earlier. So, like I said, I will go when I'm able, but there are nights where I'm glad that I can't make it. That being said, if I am in Overwatch or anything like that, and you see me in BattleNet, whisper me if I am not in game. That is me not paying attention to the clock. That is completely separate.
Unless we only have 19 people and you're our 20th to do Mythic, I'm not whispering you.
Yeah. No, that's fine. If you're in Heroic, I don't need Heroic. So I'm not worried about it. If you're doing an achievement run, sure, I'll come along. But, if I'm needed, I'll be glad to go. If it's, if I make number 20, then yeah, I want to be there. Help out. But, if I don't make it, well, my thought is, hey, night off.
See, if I wasn't raiding, I'd still be awake in Overwatch, and then I would feel just horribly guilty for missing the raid, so.
Yeah, I don't have a conscience, so we're good there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if I'm in Overwatch, I will, I'll hop out of the game and I'll hop over. But if I'm not paying attention to the clock, well, then I wasn't paying attention to the clock. If I'm at work, well, then I can't go. If I work early the next day, then I'm sorry, Bananas, I can't go that night. But I do try to go.
So the one thing real quick, Galv said unless he finds a hardcore Gore Fiend Plus group, he thinks that's the Mythic Casual goal, which is pretty much what we are as Mythic Casual. Galv is a hunter in our group, by the way, usually, except for when he has to tank. But that's
Or
kinda
use the poop shield.
Yeah, well, that's only on Sundays for alt night, but that's kind of why we still are pushing, is to one, keep the team together, to two, have a goal, because if you don't have a goal, then frustration means nothing.
Yeah.
And people will literally stop playing. And although I do agree with Hallam that a break is good every once in a while, if you go on break that lasts an entire week, people will find other teams to run with, and those usually are the players that you really don't want to lose. So,
Yeah. Well,
that can
like
be
right now,
dangerous.
yeah, like right now, most of the raid teams that I'm on, most of the players log in raid night. Like I'll log in almost every day to do my garrisons, but
Yeah,
outside of
stack
that,
them
I
chips.
log in raid night.
Need that gold fund.
Yeah,
Overwatch.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if
But-
Bananas was pushing Mythics or had more of a progression style goal, it would be a little bit less frustrating. But
I can tell you now, we would love to do mythics as a raid team. Just people, we're not getting 20, and if we can get 20, we're having to pug like 6.
well, you've
You
seen
mean-
what I've been doing to get 20.
You mean
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know if you're talking about, no offense to anybody who's listening, but we're not a mythic team. We have well, let's just say some people don't know how to find out what group they're in, and like 10 wipes into Archimon, we're like, why aren't you going down? You're in group 2. They're like, oh, am I in group 2? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I didn't see what group I'm in.
Well, that's just people
So,
not paying attention.
well, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think we're a mythic team, but we really did good on clearing heroics. I will say that.
Well, you have
Skill-
several mythic raiders on your non-mythic team, so I will say that, salvage that comment a little bit,
Yeah.
in case anybody's
I
getting
mean-
butthurt. There is
I'm
several
sorry.
worthy players on your team.
That's true.
Yeah, skill wise, mythic is possible. It's the paying attention part to where you're, what group you're supposed to be in, what that group's responsibilities are. But anyway, before we,
Wow.
butthurt
Yeah, I'm just.
any more
Are
people,
we ready? Let's just roll this, because otherwise I got to respond to Gal's comment.
yeah.
Hearthstone.
So we're in June now. I'm skipping ahead, I know, but it's June. We got a new Tavern Brawl first up, because that happens every week.
Does it? What?
Yeah, I know, it's weird. And it's a new one, even then. This
I
one's-
like it.
Yeah, this is a brand new Tavern Brawl. It is...
You collided with another hero, and your decks are
Yeah,
mixed up. Pick another hero at the start of the game. Your deck will be a random combination of the two classes. Sounds
Can you
boring.
read that again? That was an awesome voiceover.
No.
Yeah, so basically you pick a hero, you get 15 cards from that hero. First turn, before you play your cards, you get your 3 or 4, however many before that. But whenever it's your turn for 1 mana, you'll get 3 things to pick from, like your regular Discover card, not the credit card. and you pick one of the 3 heroes, and you mix your deck with 15 of their cards. And I'm seeing a lot of people picking Druid as the second, because apparently Innervate is a good chance of popping up quick and getting that extra mana.
Druid Mage combo? I mean, Mage Druid combo, so choosing Mage and then choosing Druid as your second? Or Warrior? Oh my god, amazing.
Yeah, there's some really good combos out there. I literally forgot about Tavern Brawl until earlier today, like 5 p.m. earlier today. So I didn't even try it until then. And I picked Mage because I had quested for, Mage wins. And yeah, I one-shot it. So yay!
Yay!
Scarlett, what did you think of it?
I'm currently playing. It's really good. I got all my quests done. And I've been playing Mage. I'm a Mage Hunter right now. It was Shaman or Rogue, and I figured I'd get like Overload cards or Poison cards that wouldn't actually work, so I chose Mage Hunter.
Yeah. I played 2 games. And I won both, but the first one I picked Mage, and Rogue seemed like it would be the best option, and I did get some poison cards, but they gave me weapon cards too to go with them, so that wasn't awful.
And no, okay.
Yeah, and then I picked Druid the second time because I wanted the extra mana, and I was hoping for Tree of Life.
Did you get it?
Nope, never got it. Theory, did you try it at all? I'm guessing probably not.
Can you pop your alt or pick a different character halfway through? Because if not, then I didn't play it.
You kind of can pick a different character, but you do that at the beginning.
Then that's not that. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't figure. You're in pretty much the same boat everyone is in.
Yeah, it's pretty much Overwatch all the time except for Raid. It's Raid and Overwatch, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
Overwatch. Oh, I don't know why that's stuck in my head. I'll tell you something, though. After playing Diva for so long, and then going in on my Death Knight, and then I'm waiting there for the auto-res, and then I realize there is no auto-res. And then I'm like, where's my, everything is weird, and this seems so bizarre. So, yeah.
I definitely had that, but for a different game. Where I was waiting for, abilities and stuff like that, and it just wasn't meshing right in my head. Clearly I was playing way too much Overwatch to go to the other game, but
no such thing.
Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, it is June, which means there's a new card back for the month. All you gotta do, get to level 20, and you get the lovely Zuldrak card back. I'm still using my Heroes of the Storm one. I like that card back. I'm not even using the Overwatch card back, even though I'm playing that more than anything else. This one is very trolly, in a good way.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. But
speaking of trolly, just read the box in the middle. Blizzard. What's cooler than being cool? Yeah, okay, that's too much. I don't care. It's sure.
Yeah, sure. It's a card back. I'm already level 20. I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna use it probably, but it's there in case I ever decide I want to not use the Heroes card back.
I just switched to a card back, but I don't remember where it's from. It's purple, and no, it's not the Old Gods card back. But it's pretty.
Okay. Theory, I'm sure you haven't really touched Hearthstone hardly at all, since the expansion.
I played, I want to say, 1 or 2 games last week, but it may have been the week before.
Well, I just meant like overall, like since the expansion came out, like not a ton.
Maybe 5-6 games. No way it's more than 10.
Well, in comparison to prior to the expansion, how are you enjoying the current? I'm assuming you're playing standard when you play.
Honestly, I'm playing Tavern Brawls, and that's all I'm playing. And it's been that way for months.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Scarlett? How are you in comparison to prior to the expansion, like the standard play?
Oh my god, did you guys just see that?
No. I saw you fall over.
So, okay, this is going to sound really strange. But I get vertigo sometimes when I don't know how to explain it, like certain things happen. So like if I'm standing on the track waiting for the subway, if I look at when the subway's coming, if I look at it, I will just randomly get vertigo and like have to hold on to something so I don't fall over. Same thing in elevators. If I don't hold the wall, I get vertigo. Anyways, I don't know why, but the hunter just did a thing where it hit me for 10, and you know how it makes that big like explosion? So that just randomly gave me vertigo. So,
You just ducked. You just ducked because the hunter hit you too hard.
so that happened. What was the question though?
I was asking, in comparison to prior to the expansion, I'm assuming you're doing standard. How are you enjoying the game so far for this expansion?
Oh, I like it. It's I'm doing standard. I did some wild at first, but then I got tired of Dr. Boom being in there, and I'm kind of enjoying the decks not being able to have him. So I like it.
Yeah, instead of Dr. Boom at 7, you have the possibility of a 43-43 Cthulhu on turn 10.
But you know what? I haven't been getting my ass kicked by as many Cthulhu decks anymore because there's a lot of counters, especially Priest and Tomb, which annoys me if I counter one. I mean, if I encounter one and they steal all my cards, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know. For me in particular, I'm liking the expansion. Most of my decks still revolve around the old gods. My mage is I think it's Usarge.
The spell dude?
Yeah.
I just made him.
Every time, it never fails. He will hunter's mark himself, and then he'll just kill himself, but he'll go through the entire however many spells. But every single time,
I had him pyroblast my face.
Ouch! I've never had him do that. But yeah, it's interesting.
I don't even want to ask, but how does a hunter pyroblast your face?
The Cthulhu, so he plays...
Not Cthulhu.
Or
it's the other.
Usarge. So essentially, you pull out Usarge, and he's a 10-10, or a 10 at least. He basically will cast a random spell on a random target for every spell that you cast during the game. So the object is to cast as many spells as you can before turn 10, and then have him like completely destroy the opponent's board. But sometimes he does things like pyroblast your own hero and kill you and stuff, because it's any spells on any target, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of fun. He
Yeah.
makes for a lot of good Trollden videos.
Yeah, he's definitely king of RNG. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on how we're liking the expansion as weeks go by. Yeah, mulch himself, like Al just said.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen, and he just keeps killing himself for me.
I had him Shadow Word Death himself.
Oh.
And I also had him give a Paladin's minion. He somehow doubled the attack to like 27. and I did not have a way to get rid of it, so I just died, even though I was beating
Yeah.
them originally.
Yeah, that card will take you either I'm going to win or crap, I just lost.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter where the health bars are. Your opponent could have 1 health, and unless he ends the game, you might lose. In fact, you might lose even while you play that card, because he might triple power pyroblast you.
Yep.
You never know. So you either get really lucky or you're like me and you don't. But it's still fun. But that's really all there was for Hearthstone.
But before we move on, we talked about
there's more.
Loot Crate a couple of weeks ago, and I even showed some stuff that was inside the Loot Crate. And today, I got an email about said Loot Crate, and one of the items, which I'm going to hold this up, it probably won't work, but we'll try it. If you got the Infinity Gauntlet, don't use it. It's being recalled, because apparently it doesn't do shit for hot pans and will burn the crap out of you. Pardon the language. So yes,
Well,
they told you to hang on to it, and they would replace it.
yeah, not all of some of them, but enough of them that they're recalling them.
So I will just say that this is not an Infinity Gauntlet if it can't handle a hot pan. Just saying.
Yeah.
They should have made it out of that, what is that rubber called? And you can literally, like, stick your hand in the... Please don't try that, anybody listening. But you can literally stick your hand in the fire and the glove won't melt. It's like, I don't know, it's like $15. It's plastic. You guys have never seen those? There's, like, all these bakeware that's made out of this plastic that it doesn't melt. And you can, like, I was at this bonfire once, and the guy sprayed the rubber mitt with, like, I don't know, some aerosol shit out of a can, and then stuck his hand in the fire, and everything caught fire, but the glove and his hand were fine.
That just sounds like stupidity to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Disclaimer, don't try that.
Don't do that.
Exactly. Please don't do that. But it is something that is available.
But for that oven mitt, not all of them are melting. That was the issue. Enough of them are melting that they're just saying, if you want to, send it back. Otherwise, don't use it just to be safe.
What their actual words are is, based on these reports, we believe it's possible some of the elements sent in your loot crates will not withstand high temperatures stated in the Loot Crate magazine and may pose a safety hazard, including risk of burns. Please immediately stop using the product and carefully secure it from use from others. So they're either going to replace it or whatever, or give you something else instead, which is fine, because I honestly didn't really want it anyway. So, it's all good. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You don't cook?
If we have to...
Rarely, but I actually have they have these really cool, and this is completely off subject, but hey, maybe they could turn it into something gaming related and send me one. But they have these neoprene, like, it's a circle, and it's open on the back, so you can kind of use it like a puppet, but it's made out of neoprene, so you just grab the item and it's no big deal.
I swear that's probably the same type of material that I'm talking about.
It could be.
Maybe.
It's basically coated neoprene is what it is, so it's good. Yes, the thing we're talking about is an oven mitt. Alan.
Yes, that's. I love that comment more than I should. But anyway, I'm assuming they're gonna want you to send it back, and then they'll send you either up to par 1 or something else. I'm debating on keeping mine.
It's limited edition, man. It's a
exactly
pot holder that doesn't work.
Well, there's that. But just it. How many loot crates do they make? Most people are going to send it back. I'm thinking I might keep mine.
I don't think they'll send it back. I think they'll put an extra item in the next month in order to make up for it, because the cost of sending it back is more expensive than the item itself.
Yeah. Which reminds me, let me pull up my email here real quick, because that's a voluntary recall. There is a new Loot Crate Gaming or something similar to that. It's another version of Loot Crate. Overwatch is in it for this next month, for June. So look that up if you're interested. I'm tempted to, throw some money at that one just to see what the Overwatch item is. No, it's a different one. They've got Loot Pets, Loot Crate Anime, Loot Crate Gaming. There's Loot Crate in general.
I'm muted again. So they made a Loot Crate Overwatch?
No.
I'm
There's an
confused.
Overwatch item in Loot Crate for gaming. It's everything in the Loot Crate is for games.
Okay.
There's Loot Crate Pets, which is basically the regular Loot Crate, but everything is designed for pets. Like the shirt is a shirt for a pet.
I got it. But which one has the Overwatch stuff? The gaming one?
The gaming one.
So
I'm thinking about grabbing that.
off topic, but on topic. Did you know that there is loot crates designed for makeup?
Oh my god.
I'm a girl, and okay, I'm not really a girly girl, but like, what if you're dark skinned and they send you light skin colors, or vice versa, or like what? That just seems like it wouldn't work.
I don't know about makeup or anything like that. I do know
You don't?
if you sign up. No, I do know though. If you sign up for Loot Crate, it asks you what shirt size you want. So I would imagine they do, tone, or however your makeup works for that.
This might possibly be the most off the rails we've ever gotten.
I don't know. Maybe. All right, so let's hop back on the rails since you are bringing it up. Little bit of Heroes, and then we will wrap it up.
Heroes of the Storm.
All right. Sorry, I was typing. I was muted.
You're not sorry.
No, actually, I wasn't. I was looking at the stream, typing, and not paying attention to what was actually live. So, Heroes! Yay, Heroes! This is the game that I was, in terms of the controls, this is what I was talking about earlier. I was playing so much Overwatch, it took me a couple games to get back into Heroes, how they move around, controls, that kind of thing, because I kept hitting buttons. Why isn't this working?
Why is my all not working? Q, where's Q?
I'm hitting left shift. Why am I not blinking? That kind of thing. Anyway, up first, we got the free for the week. And that is Raynor, Muradin, Uther, Jaina, Artanis, Asmodan at 5, Gazlo, 7, the Butcher, Lunar at 12, and Karazim the Monk at 15.
So you know what the best thing about this list is?
You own none of them.
Nope, the date's right at the top.
Yeah.
GG Blizz, you win this round.
Yep. And then on sale, we've got Tassadar, Centurion Johanna skin, which if you bought her bundle when she came out, you have this. And the first legendary skin they ever made is Mecha Tassadar. It's basically the Transformer Tassadar. Comes with his own mount, turns into a jet. I was really tempted to buy this one. And then I realized I don't play Tassadar. So...
Yeah.
Oh, I
If
really want
it
that
walked
skin.
around and made the Transformers noise as it walked around, or whatever, and then said more than meets the eye every time it walked around, then I would consider playing it for 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those. I really want to. He's level 10, but I don't play him enough to justify this for a skin. That being said, I did pay $10 for the Widowmaker skin on Nova, and I haven't played her since I got her to level 10 via AI matches. So, who knows?
Howland does say a point there, though.
Hmm.
Overwatch greater than Heroes.
Oh, Overwatch is new. It's the new shiny. So I understand that point of view.
It's always going to be the new shiny.
Well, it's newer. But I don't know. Like I was never into MOBAs. Heroes is the MOBA I like. I absolutely despise first-person shooters, but I love Overwatch.
And that's why it will be larger than HOTS, especially if they get some actual esports going for it. I don't know. Did you happen to listen to the CTR Presents esports thing this week?
Yeah, I did actually. That was interesting.
So 60 to 80,000 people on Twitch watching Overwatch, less than 10,000 people on Twitch watching HOTS.
Yeah, I know. HOTS has always had that issue, though. It just hasn't been able to build up as much as everyone wanted it to.
League kind of already has that market cornered.
Well, technically, yeah, but it would be nice to give League some kind of a competition in its own genre. That being said, there are some flaws with either production values or breaks in between games for Heroes. I can't watch more than a couple minutes of competitive high-end Overwatch before I start getting motion sick. And I've mentioned that before, but I've never gotten motion sick from anything before. Competitive Overwatch was, I could feel I was getting motion sick. So I can't watch more than a few minutes at a time. And I can't watch an entire round straight through. So I can't watch it live. Heroes, I'm still able to watch live. I still love watching it live. So it's just one of those things where it's,
Speaking of competitive live HOTS.
Yay! We got the North America Summer Regional this weekend. They actually had the group stages today, which is not listed, I don't believe. Yeah, I guess it was there. And there was stream error, things were going wrong with the stream, which is no one's fault. It happens. Believe me, Theory, you and I both know this.
Yeah, we do.
XSplit might decide, no, we're just going to die. OBS, yeah, I'm just going to crash, and I'm not going to pick up anything. It might turn me purple, which is what happened to the stream earlier. Gillyweed was hosting it, and it was just literally OBS turned her purple.
Nice.
I don't know who that is.
Veruca.
She's the... Yeah, that's I made that... No, it was Violet Beauregard.
That's it, Violet.
So, literally, I joined the stream. The first time I see her, I was like, did you change your name to Violet Beauregard? Because you look like... you look a bit purple. And
no, but I have no idea who that streamer is what I'm saying.
She used to do a lot of StarCraft. Now it's mostly HOTS and a little bit of Overwatch. But it's mostly HOTS. No, she's cool, though. If you remember my BlizzCon picture, she was the picture with me in it of the blonde that I wasn't touching.
So
it was very obvious. It was very obvious. I went out of my way to not touch her in picture because I was sweaty. I was just sweaty. I didn't want to not like that, you
So,
pervert.
did you touch all the other blondes? And this was the one
No.
blonde that you didn't want to touch?
This was the only blonde that I touched. Not
Wait a second, you just
Oh.
said you didn't touch her. Make up your mind, Raven.
This is the only blonde I had my picture taken with.
Uh-oh.
She literally
You in trouble.
It says no touching in caps.
no. What it was? It was hot. I was sweaty. I just didn't want to Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I
that
was trying to be polite, and it just looked awkward.
I have a feeling if we could see Draven on camera, he'd be like bright red right now.
He's kind of purple, and he's still got the spiky hair with the crown on, and the Fu Manchu. He's not showing it. He's still smiling. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it sounds worse whenever you try to explain it, but
he is stumbling. Stumbling,
Yeah,
bumbling. All right.
Yeah,
so
I do stumble. But yeah, this weekend is the last for the North American Summer Regionals to see who goes to the Summer Finals. And nobody really knows who's going to take the 2 U.S. spots because it's still way up in the air. There is a little bit of controversy. Cloud9 actually has to, if they finish second or first, they are guaranteed a spot. But anything below that, they are in a playoff for that last spot. So they kind of have a pass. They don't have to.
They just paid somebody off. It's like, look, I know we suck, but how about we get in on that last round? Here's some dough.
Sadly, lately, while I won't say they suck, because they are way better than a lot of other people, they have not lived up to last year.
Is last year the reason that they have this pass?
No, that's just points for so far. Like they're getting consistently to the finals, they get so many points, that kind of thing.
Okay, because it
last
sounds completely unfair that one team has a chance to take out the number 2 person if they're not at least already number 2 or whatever.
No, yeah, it's just a point thing. If they finish third or lower, they get a playoff because they've amassed enough points.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just
And
one of
then on the 2nd, that marked a pretty big anniversary, right? Oh my God, we lost Scarlet. She said, "Whoops," and it's gone.
I quit.
gone.
I'm in the mute button. It should be coming back.
So we'll just throw this up there so that nobody can see that you have no video. So Draven, tell me about this one.
This is Hot's 1-year anniversary from when the game went live. I mean, that's easy way to look at it. You get extra experience for playing. 50% more. This will stack on top of the Stim pack and your teammate pack and all that fun stuff. It's June 2nd through the 19th because, they do 2.5 weeks. But on top of anything in game, one, if you buy anything out of the in-store, the in-game store, you get that new mount we were talking about. What was it called, Theory?
The Hell Billy.
Yes, it's the little baby unicorn with that one, the green one. You get
They
that.
actually
All you gotta
updated
do-
this yesterday, today, whatever.
Yeah, literally, go to the in-game shop, anything at all, buy anything at all, but with money. My Stim pack ran out, so I bought another one. Boom, I got it.
Imagine that. Pay for something and you get something.
Exactly.
Speaking of
Something
which,
extra.
do you remember how much of a hard time I gave you about all the money you dumped into this game?
Yeah, you don't have a right to do that anymore.
Pretty much not, no. Yeah, I've dumped a lot of money into Overwatch already.
Mm-hmm.
I could have bought it 2.5 times already.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I spent $5 last week and then $10 this week on boxes.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping my spending in check on this one. Whereas with Heroes, Medivh comes out here in a couple weeks, so I'll be buying that. Future Heroes, I'll be buying most of those, whether it's with gold or with cash, who knows.
So this is my thought, and I'm going with what my buddy Overdrive has been telling me, because he's been right about every damn other thing that has happened that I told him he was wrong about. Was that they will probably be releasing new skins and player icons and all the stuff that comes in the loot boxes. There'll be more of it with this patch that they're talking about, supposed to happen sometime in June. So I want to get the ones I want now, because I know there's going to be more that I'm going to want later. So they've got me hooked, and I'm giving them my money.
Yeah, I've gotten really lucky in terms of most of the things I've wanted, either with getting enough duplicates or the epic 500 gold or whatever currency they're using.
Legendary.
Yeah, you get it's 500 of that currency, and I've gotten like 4 of them so far. So that I've gotten really lucky there. I've gotten many legendary skins, including the Ifrit Zenyatta, which was cool. I don't use them, but whatever. Firefighter Mei and stuff like that. And some of
You
the
have
like I've
Firefighter
got.
Mei?
Yes.
So do I.
I've gotten I with the in-game currency, with duplicates and all that, I've managed to get the Nevermore Reaper, the Blackheart Reinhardt, the Punk Rock Tracer, Widowmaker. I don't have the Zarya one yet, but I've gotten a lot of really nice stuff. The one thing I don't have that I want is the Reaper player icon, the one that you have, Theory.
I got a bunch of good player icons. I got kind of lucky with those, but right now I have the Arthas one, which is pretty badass, and I have the Alliance one too. I have a Garrosh one. The best Mei skin is the one where she's dead on the ground.
No.
I hate Mei.
Mei is awesome.
I hate Mei.
No, that's true. She's freaking annoying to play against, but she's freaking awesome to play with.
I've started this thing, and I find it fun and funny, and maybe it's just more demented, or maybe I'm just crazy, which I am, so that's probably it. But every time I do kill Mei, I walk on top of her body and shoot her in the back of the head a couple of times. Just for good measure. And I don't care if somebody else kills me while I do it.
That's so mean.
That's actually very similar to what I do most of the time. Only I do it with that Reaper skin I don't like. I will, if I kill him, I will go up and teabag him.
Somebody was doing that to me in a game the other night. I think Scarlet might have been in the group at that point, and I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know that there was a squat function until I got teabagged in the game. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, I have it bound. I have it bound to X because I changed it.
What's it originally bound to?
I have no idea.
I've changed my keybinds like I don't even know how many times. Like I couldn't even tell you what keys do what now, but when I'm playing, most of it just happens. So
yeah.
Well, I know my right click and my middle mouse button are either the E or the number 2 key. I always get them mixed up, so that's why sometimes I ice block when I mean to ice wall on Mei.
Oh, Gal just gave me a good idea. So now I'm going to change my routine, and after I shoot her a couple times in the back of the head, I'm going to spray right next to her dead body. And hope that it's play of the game so that everybody else can see it at the end that I killed her and then shot her when she's dead and then put a spray down. Because apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that if you put a spray after killing someone, you have a higher chance of that being play of the game.
Really?
Yes.
Let's go try that. Let's test that theory out.
After show, sounds like we have a plan.
Yes.
Which, because none of us were going to go play Overwatch after this.
I want a shirt that says, all Meis must die.
Theory.
Yeah.
Dude.
If I had a way to kill the Mei that was on my team, I would do it.
And for those of you listening to the audio, this is great podcasting because Scarlett just flipped Theory off on camera. But you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, since we jumped back to Overwatch, let's jump back for one last small thing in Heroes. I know. Chromie. Week 1, overall, 30% win rate. I think she got all the way up to like 33% at one point. Well, Blizzard decided to buff her. They cut down on her cooldowns. They gave her some more health, that kind of stuff. Has it worked? We don't know. We haven't got any information out of them yet. I don't think it was enough, but we'll see. So yeah, Chromie went working out. She done got buffed.
If she can't turn into a dragon, still nobody's gonna play her, so whatever.
Yeah. And that's really just about everything. I mean, we've derailed more than we normally do. We've done some throwbacks, which we normally do. So I think that's a show. So before we get into our shout-outs, I'll give Scarlett and you both a couple minutes to get ready for that. How can people get a hold of us, Theory?
So, as you can tell, there's no music playing right now because we're going to do this a little bit differently, a little old school, maybe not. But anyway, for an Epic Fail, you can find us at epicfailpodcast.com. On Facebook, we're at facebook.com/podcastepicfail. On Twitter, we are at podcastepicfail. You can contact Draven directly on Twitter at Draven Dresden. You can contact Scarlett on Twitter at Scarlett_CTR. And you can contact me at Gank Theory. In addition to finding us on those places, we are available on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio. And we have a Discord channel, which you're welcome to join. In our Discord channel, we have a couple of different things that you might find interesting. There is a special actual channel specifically for Draven to post his highlights from Overwatch, which if you think that's interesting, good on you. And then we also have the ability to ask a question that we'll answer on the show. So you can actually, if you want to ask us a question, no matter how weird it is, just don't include the dick pics because we don't want to see those. You can do that right inside the Discord. Well, maybe Scarlett does. I don't. But anyway, send them all to Draven. But then additionally, as you guys probably know, Draven is on an Overwatch podcast. So you can actually find Heroes Never Die also on iTunes and on Stitcher. Now, does Heroes Never Die have a Discord yet, Draven?
Yeah, Totem set it up. I will put that in the show notes. It has its own Twitter. It is HND I think it's HND Overwatch. Totem runs it, so I don't really.
Okay. What's Totem's Twitter address?
Totemly Drunk. And yeah, Heroes Never Die is HND Overwatch.
Awesome.
That's a lot of fun. I love doing that one. I love doing this one too, don't get me wrong. We're 100% audio. And that one seems to be doing fairly well from what he's telling me. Apparently we're getting a lot of downloads and stuff over there. To the point where he had to spend more money on space. Because we were getting so many.
I think when we chose our name, it was an epic fail, which kind of goes with the name. Cause, yeah. It's kind of biting us a little bit, but it goes with the show, so there you go.
Yeah. We'll talk about maybe after like 100 or so, we might do something, but who knows? Anyway, time for some shout outs. Unless you guys have anywhere else, like if you're guesting anywhere this week, because you guys don't really tell me until that day. Usually we don't know. Yeah.
No guesting.
Well, yep. All right, so Scarlett, ladies first, do you have any shout outs for the week?
Yes. I want to shout out to everybody who's cheered me up this week and made me laugh, because that was awesome, because I had like a crappy week. But that's my shout outs. Quick ones.
Yay. Scarlet in with a quickie.
Alrighty.
Theory, do you have any shout outs? Yeah, but you completely just threw me off with that one. And I switched it. I switched it to you so that Scarlet, in case she was going to spit her drink all over her screen or something like that, wouldn't have been on video. All right, so yeah, here's a quick one. I will give a shout out to every single person who kills Mei in Overwatch. And that's it.
Well then, for me, much like Theory, if you kill Mei, you get a shout out. If you kill Reaper, but only in the Origins skin, you get a shout out.
You hate that skin so much.
I hate that skin. It has absolutely nothing to do, despite what was being talked about in that particular game, with his skin color. I don't like seeing what he looks like. I know he doesn't look like that under the mask. I just don't like knowing his past. I wanted him to be forever a mystery.
Die.
Yes. Outside of that, shout out to any raid team in WoW that is still going strong or trying to go strong. And, even if they're working out some little attendance issues or whatever. And just because I can, very last shout out will be, I will say B for next week, and going to see the movie with me and giving me a place to stay for the weekend.
Who could that be?
I don't know who that would be.
It's kind of interesting to see who it could be.
So, I think that's a show. Do we have any last words?
Yes. I want B to smack you on the side of the head for me. I don't know why, I just do.
All right.
That's kind of a
I'm not
request. That's not words.
Yeah,
it's like a noise.
It's both.
So of course, Theory decides to smack himself in the head.
Well, you said,
Howland's
last
shouting out
words.
to all the blondes that he touched.
Okay.
Sure. That was the best one.
So, Scarlet, I'm gonna be mad at you. Anyway, last words with the show will be yourself.
Okay, bye. Hello, Mother.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.